Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Miscellaneous Debris Podcast. That's right, with me, your host of the most. I don't know, that just came into my head. The Matt Chatter, Ryan MK. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining, Matt Caps. Appreciate you all. I hope you've been well. I've had a bit of a crazy week, per usual, it's usually a little bit mad around here at the Madhouse MK. And this Sunday, I woke up to a little bit of knee pain. I don't remember doing anything in particular to it. When we were moving in, I think I mentioned it on a previous pod, I slammed U-Haul door into my knee. That hurt. Felt shitty for a few days. So maybe it's somehow related to that. But no real trauma recent trauma that I can think of. And yet sore. And I'm moving shit. We had some things to take to the garage. So I'm moving shit up and down. We're on the second floor. Few flights up and down the stairs. And at the end of it, knee was pretty sore. Had the wife look a little bit more swollen than the right knee. So what the hell's going on with the left one? Talked to my mom, who's a nurse. She tells me what she thinks, her concerns, and definitely call the doctor in the morning. Here's what you need to do. But the thing, it kept getting bigger. My knee kept getting bigger to the point where it looked like there was a fucking baseball there in place of my kneecap. I'll have to put some pictures up. It was gnarly. My buddy Aaron, who, by the way, does the Dynasty Wonderland podcast. If you're into fantasy football at all, check it out. Same place you're finding this. But my buddy Aaron from that pod, it's the word he used to describe it, gnarly. So, yes. And so it gets to the point where, okay, I might have to just go to urgent care. But instead, the wife suggests something she used before that our insurance allows. And that is at-home care. You can actually have a medical professional come to your house, diagnose you, get you your medicine, do all sorts of this. So we figured they're going to come here, drain my knee or something, because basically it was like liquid, like a bag of liquid almost under there. So the afternoon, the medical team shows up, a couple of very nice ladies, and diagnosed me with prepatellar bursitis. Yes, prepatellar bursitis. They're a little concerned because, well, I don't seem to have any other trauma or anything. There's no symptoms. I otherwise look fine. It's just the swelling. That's it. Kind of out of nowhere. Not as uncommon for older people. I'm not that old. But on the other hand, recovering alcoholics, they do say shit like that, that ages you more. But that's definitely a concern. So they need to, I guess what I'm saying is the medical professionals out there, scientists, everything, let's come up with some fountain of the youth type medicine. Let folks like me, who should be younger, get a little younger. I shouldn't be so fucking beat up. But it's on me. I digress. So prepatellar bursitis, and just precaution. They want to make sure everything's good. They want some x-rays, order some x-rays. Oh, well, the soonest I can get somewhere for an x-ray is Tuesday. Oh, no, that's okay. We'll have someone come to you. For x-rays? What the fuck? Okay. Thought it was going to be Monday. Well, no. They call later on Sunday night. They're going to knock it out Sunday night. And after some confusion with finding the place, which ended up irritating the wife a little bit, because she got it going early Sunday when we were trying to get the doctor here, because I didn't feel like dealing with the phone bullshit. So she dealt with it. So they had her number. And eventually, a guy gets here and pulls up a little SUV type vehicle and opens up the back, and out of the back, the mechanism lowers this object down, this device, and it's like it gets lowered down. You know what I'm talking, kind of like the wheelchair thing, the handicap thing, and it's got like a metal frame, like a upside down horseshoe, and then it's got two metal legs, and then it's in the middle of it all. It's got this hanging box on like a metal arm type thing, a movable arm, and it's an X-ray box, and they just take your fucking X-rays with it. It's crazy. It's and of course normally you would take it into a house if you can. He prefers people just set up in their garage. We're in an apartment building, second floor. Yeah. So basically, he's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do it right here in the parking lot, if that's okay. Sure, I'm laid back. I don't give a fuck. What can I do to make your job easier? And so we get a couple pictures. I really need to get one with you lying down because he needed to get an angle of my knee to where he could see like the leg. I kind of had to have a bent knee anyway. So I needed to lay down. And I'm like, sure, I got you. No problem. I'll lay down on the concrete. So I did. And not a problem. Not a problem. Laying there on the concrete, 9:30 at night, apartment complex, parking lot. I do hope that some neighbors got out their cell phones, got a little footage. Hope it gave them a chuckle. Like, what the fuck is going on down there? Because the dude that was taking the X-ray, like, wonder if they thought we were making a movie or something. Because the dude that was taking the X-ray, like, literally had scrubs on. He has the machine. He busts out this, one of the lead coats. Like, yeah, it was some wild shit. Believe you me. Believe you me. Speaking of that saying, I heard that a few days ago, and it got me thinking, like, where the fuck? Because that's such a stupid saying. Believe you me. Believe you me. Now, that saying to me had to have come from like the Neanderthal times. Like we kept that from the because that sounds just like the way they would believe you me. Believe you me. Believe me, you. You me believe? Believe me, you. Hey, believe you me. That's what it sounds like. Such a stupid saying. Believe you me. But now it's almost sophisticated. Like, believe you me. It's caveman time. Believe you me. It almost be like a distorted version of the story. Get to Java. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, believe you me. Can you believe it? The internet, part of the internet was broke today. Oh, by the way, I'm recording this Monday. So on Monday, because it'll come out Tuesday. On Monday, part of the internet was broke. No Facebook, Instagram. Everybody just waiting for everything to collapse. Pretty funny. People lose it a little bit without their shit. There are people that haven't been on Twitter like, hey, but other shit's down. Let's go to Twitter. Twitter, party on Twitter. And then did Twitter go down at some point? Thought I saw that. I'm not sure if it was a joke or not. I didn't care that much. So, but I saw it was trending like, oh, yeah. Internet's having some issues today, huh? I don't really care for the Facebook. Really don't. Not anymore. I used to have one. Not anymore. I got the Instagram. Need to use it more for my comedy stuff. But I don't really use that all that much at the moment right now either. Anyway, moving on. We're going to get into some news because CMAG Caps, here's what I wanted to get a bit of a format to the show. And the whole idea behind the show, Miscellaneous Debris, is just a random thoughts from the brain of the chatter, right? Me. And so that's kind of what the basis of this is. However, sometimes I feel like it was a little bit too loose, unorganized. So even though it's supposed to be just some rando thoughts coming at you from my crazy ass brain, I'd like to get it somewhat organized. So I kind of formatted it so that it's a little easier for me to set up each week and to get through each week. And I think it'll help still be my random ass thoughts, just a little more organized, controlled chaos, as you will. You gotta put some control on that fucking chaos every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that being said, we're going to take a quick break, come back, and get into some news. Some news, I think. We're going to come back and get into some news. But first, quick break and a word from our sponsors. I'm just fucking kidding. I don't have any fucking sponsors. I'll be right back. Okay, we are back with more of the MD pod, the pod. Yes, that's right. Thank you very much. So, as promised, let's get into some fucking news. So, unfortunately, shit doesn't really stop, like kind of like bad news in California, you know? It really doesn't. It's kind of crazy. But in Cali, you got the oil spill down there in Southern California. You know, they're dealing with a bunch of bullshit. I mean, and then you got the East Coast with the hurricane. Like, it's just damn. But yeah, climate change is no big deal. You know, I saw this thing. I couldn't find the article after I saw it, but I saw the headline of it that was like, the astronomers see the Earth is dimming, like it's not as bright as it once was. Because, you know, when you look up in the sky, you can see the planet. They look like stars that don't twinkle. Those are the planets, Jupiter, Saturn. You can see those easily. I see them all the time. But so our brightness in that respect is getting less. Cause for concern. But that aside, now we got this oil spill in Southern California off Huntington Beach, about 5 miles off the coast. And it's the equivalent of an estimated 3,000 barrels or 126,000 gallons of post-production crude. Size of the spill was reported to be about 13 square miles. And by Sunday night, about 3,150 gallons of oil had been removed from the water, and over a mile of oil boom, which is floating barriers designed to contain oil spill, were deployed. This is fucked, man. Basically, the cause is not yet known, but they're expecting a leak from a pipeline 17 miles long in the area. And so far, shut down beaches, threatened wildlife habitats, potentially harmed people, they say. Sections of the shoreline at Huntington Beach were closed this weekend. And, you know, they're trying to advise people to avoid contact with the ocean water. So anybody listen to this near that area, I mean, if any of the 7 of you that listen are near that, the extent of the ecological damage remains to be seen. It's infiltrated the entirety of the Talbot wetlands. Yeah, it's no good, man, and women's no good. Amplify Energy, that's who owns the pipeline. Small independent company. Yeah, you get these little companies thinking they fucking do oil, but they don't have the recent. Yeah, I could see it. It's what a fucking shame. But you know, that's why we got to work on things like, because this does tie to climate change. If we quit worrying so much about the oil, you know, why the hell is my computer? It's just like, okay, you know, we're gonna do it like this. Okay. Oh, whoa. Well, let's see if that'll work. Sorry, technical difficulties, bear with me. Okay. But anyway, as I mentioned, Where was I? I'm totally lost thanks to I noticed my computer was making noise. Thank you very much. Thought train derailed. But this all ties to climate change, right? Because, something like oil, if we can get ourselves away from oil, we won't have things like this, right? That impact the environment. Conversely, that also just helps with the all around aspect of the climate, the environment. So, we got to get away from oil, but it's hard. There's a lot of, rich people that are invested in oil, and they're going to fight to keep their investment something people care about. Yeah, so more manipulation and master trickery from those in power and the elite. And then you have, interestingly enough, this leak with this Pandora Papers, speaking of the elite. And it's basically showing hundreds of world leaders, powerful politicians, billionaires, celebrities, religious leaders, and funny enough, actually drug dealers. But it's showing where these people have been hiding their investments in mansions, exclusive beachfront property, yachts, other assets for the past quarter century. And it's a review of nearly 12 million files obtained from 14 different firms located around the world. It's being dubbed the Pandora Papers because the findings shed light on the previously hidden dealings of the elite and the corrupt, and how they have used offshore accounts to shield assets collectively worth trillions of dollars. More than 330 current and former politicians identified as beneficiaries of the secret accounts include Jordan's King Abdullah II, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, and former associates of both Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Many of the accounts were designed to evade taxes and conceal assets for other shady reasons, according to the report. So, very interesting. Money. It's fucking crazy, huh? Money. Yes, what people will do for money. What people will do for money and power and just wealth in general and other things. They'll let just, fake news or, misinformation run rampant about, a pandemic. Such has gone on because now we're over 700,000 COVID deaths. And it's unfortunate. And we're at the point where we're just going to probably have to end up figuring out a way to live with COVID because, there's just too much division. I mean, there's reportedly, some sense of unity amongst Trumpers and Black Lives Matter, because neither side want the fucking vaccine mandate. I just don't fucking understand. I just don't understand. I'll never be one to understand the anti-science. The science has brought us technology, everything, where we're at, science, the way to better our future. Again, getting away from oil, things like that, more renewable, all that shit, science is the key. Now, that doesn't mean there's bad science out there. That doesn't mean there's, not, even evil scientists, I guess, but science is the key. And for so many people to be brushing it off, for this to be politicized, and I will never be able to quite understand, a minority specifically. Oh, Jesus, excuse me. Gesundheit, Chada. Why, thank you, good sir. Whoa. That was a rough one, and that came out of nowhere. Is my nose leaking now? Is my nose leaking now? No, I'm okay. Sorry. Apologies, Mad Cats. Jesus. But I lost my damn thoughts again. Did we lose the thoughts again? Are we hitting another thought? Yes, we are, I guess. So stupid sneeze. It's funny how something like that can just fucking be, if you had a co-host, it could keep you on track. But when you're by yourself, it's, oh shit, what was I talking about? I don't remember. I smoked too much weed. Damn you, sneeze. Sorry. But I will never be able to understand the plight of particularly an African American. Um, it's rough in this country. And it hurts my heart to see them align with Trumpers about at any means, because Trumpers would just like to see. I guess I can't say for all Trumpers, but the majority of Trumpers, you can tell with the Confederate flags, and you've seen videos online with some of this stuff pertaining to Black Lives Matter, what Trumpers feel, and it's just like, you know, those fuckers would just assume to see you back in chains. And like, I don't know how you can in any way align with someone like that. But again, I don't understand completely. I haven't been through it. Like I don't have, I also would say I don't have some cherished white life, but I'm sure there's plenty of times like run-ins with the cops. I've things could have gone much worse, and they probably would have had I been a black dude. I'm not blind to that. There's a lot of people in this country are, but I'm not blind to that. But so I'm not, I guess when it comes to the vaccinations and stuff, and specifically the government trying to tell you what to do, I really feel like Michael Irvin, the former Dallas Cowboys wide receiver, Hall of Famer himself. I don't know why I said himself, not like I was talking about another Hall of Famer, or like I'm a Hall of Famer or anything. I don't know what the hell that was about. But Michael Irvin, said himself, like, hey, if the government wanted us all dead, we'd be dead. But they don't want us all dead. I mean, really, they probably like it exactly where it is right now. Super fucking divided. Um, and just which side's gonna, and like I don't know. I could go on and on, get into the stupid, archaic, idiotic two-party system. I could get into all of that, but I digress. So I know there's hesitancy in parts of the African American community because a previous, like specifically Tuskegee experiment, like, and so I can understand as much as I can understand, because I can't fully understand. But as much as I can understand, I do get that. But I think it gets to a point where it's like how, how much more can you explain to people that the best way to get this just to all stop is for everybody to do their part? And there's still such a chunk of people, specific kinds of people, that don't want to do their part, to now have people on their side that normally aren't. Like, that sucks. And again, me, I'm no like diehard Democrat, like I'm fucking independent. I'm no diehard anything. I can't stand the labels and all that stupid shit. So it's just, I have my particular beliefs, and one of them is strongly for science. It blows my mind. It blows my mind how many people just, I get it. It was developed quickly, but the thing is that we've had, there's a reason it's COVID-19. There's other strands of this kind of virus. Like we had to learn about this particular one, and we had to, like, it's not that much of a stretch if you look into the science of it all. And when it comes down to it, it was born out of necessity. This was fucking taking people out, overwhelming hospitals. And obviously, in some countries, particularly ours, there were a lot of anti-mask and shit sentiment. We had to get some vaccines going. And now we're one of we have all these fucking vaccines. There's countries that would kill for the vaccine availability that we have. And there's so many people not taking advantage of it. And it just, shit's never going to go away. And the end result is just going to be worse because what could have been, kind of nicked in the butt and kind of slowed and eventually put to an end has just continued. And the variants continue. And it's all a fucking mess. And it sucks to see any kind of group or anything that I really respect and support, such as like a Black Lives Matter, team up with somebody that I absolutely fucking despise. Trumpers. And I'm going to get back to Trumpers in a second, but I did read another story because it ties to Trumpers and Black Lives Matter, and it's a story of this high school student in York, Maine. Goes to York High School, white girl, Claudia Corcoran, if I said that right. But she did this artwork on segregation, and they had to do an art project based on a book that they were reading in class, and she did something on segregation, and it was put up in the library, and students, staff, teachers complained. It was taken down. Eventually, it was put back up, but there was a big fight about it, and it went on for a while. And I guess the main objection is shouldn't be allowed to, you're displaying politics, a political view. I'm just curious, how is that a political? When did discussing segregation become a political view? That was back before the Civil War. Or not, after before the Civil War.
You suck, you jackass.
I know. But I mean, not that there wasn't segregation. You know what I mean? So I would just like to understand how that's political. I'm pretty sure that's history, right? Supposed to be. That's supposed to be. But segregation is part of our nation's history. That cannot be denied. And there's artwork portraying segregate, like, I guess there was part of the painting was Martin Luther King, and he said, "Still dreaming." Maybe that's the political, but like, get the fuck out of here. They're so stupid. I'm glad they put that shit back up. It looked like a cool ass painting. It's a good message. But people want to lose their goddamn, it's like a chunk of the nation just wants to go back to the way things used to be decades ago. And that's pretty much, there was a poll done recently, and it said 52% of Trump supporters would be happy to see the union. Like,
Oh,
yeah, I'd say let them. Just let them. 52%. And then there's like another 40-some% of Democrats will want to see I take that more as, and maybe that's true. If they're like, this is the kind of where if we're leading back to Trump land, then yeah, let's just get the fuck out. Or yeah, that's kind of a weird one with but it is true. There's such division, and especially with like the Trumpers, like you just don't understand the mentality, and so many don't, and it's like And people, may think I'm crazy when I say shit like, man, if you think Trump like there was a former like official and that came out saying like if Trump gets back in the White House, he's going to be after revenge. Like he's going to be big on revenge. And you know what? He's going to follow his buddy Putin and figuring out how to make it so that, he stays in office and just doesn't have to leave. So we can't let him back in. But it's a scary thought. It's Biden's got some bad energy around. I can't imagine him running for a second one anyway. So who the hell would run? I don't know. What a fucking mess. It's just mess upon mess upon mess. Believe you me. Believe you me. Believe you me. Caveman Arnold Schwarzenegger. Believe you me. Terrible. I know. Terrible impersonation. They want to see the union. Yeah, fucking. I don't even know how that works. Fucking let them. I did. Fuck. I don't. Like this is Trump is still whining about election shit. He's trying to get back on Twitter. Oh, he wants the Pulitzer Prize taken away from Washington Post, the New York Times for the work they did on all the Russian election interference. He's complaining about it. He feels there's no evidence. And in fact, that these Post, the time, they got the Pulitzer for the depth of their investigation. So don't tell me there's no goddamn evidence. It's just crazy. But that's again when I spoke recently, and I've spoke several times on this, but I spoke recently about if you look at just the idea of fascism and you look at that fascist checklist, the characteristics of a fascist leader, that is Trump literally trying to get rid of news / reports, whatever, that is true. It's facts. But it's bad for him. So he wants it gone. That's what that kind of leader does. But he's still got a lot of supporters. It's freaky, bro. And then, I'll be honest. I get kind of nervous about the shit like that. And then I see on Twitter that people, a big, backer of Trump right now is the new movement, the Make America Great Again. I'm Ooh, what?
You suck, you jackass.
Yeah, they suck. Like, make America great again. There's a video of Trump suggests like saying it at some rally. Like, you see that and you're like, God, these people can't possibly fucking win, can they? I fucking hope not. I'm serious. I got to get a passport before 2024 because I would do, man. If the election goes south, I got to get the fuck out of here. Me and the fam, we got to pack up and go. No more. America, please. No, full ticket. Get out of here now. Get out of here now. Go. That's gonna be screaming. Get the fuck out of here now. Passports. That's a good idea. Passport. Oh, make America great again. MAGA again. Again, we MAGA. MAGA again. Make America great again. Such fun. Yeah, at least they're entertaining. Oh, if it wasn't so terrifying the amount of them there were. Because as stupid as that is, there is going to be way too many people with MAGA again, red hats. So, got news out of the way. Don't forget your MAGA again hats. It's so stupid. I tell you, I could rant on that shit all night, all fucking night, but I won't. We have other stuff to get into, such as a little bit of sports. Yes, that's right. So, football season going on strong, like a quarter of the way through. And just give me 5 minutes. If you're not in the sports, skip ahead 5 or so, and we'll be back on track. Because next, I'm doing a little bit of story time. Okay, it's a new segment. We did all of this. This is going to be the new format, how it's going to flow. And so, right now we do a little sports. You're not into that, but NFL going strong, and love-hate relationship with the football. There's a lot of dirtiness, the dirty underbelly of the NFL. There's also the idea of how much these dudes are really wrecking themselves to play this goddamn game. Yes, for a lot of money, but it's still, the long term. Anyway, it's a love hate there, but I do love it. I do, as previously mentioned, do a podcast, the Dynasty Wonderland podcast with my guy Aaron Stewart. Check that out if you're into fantasy football. But there's a big game this weekend. It was Tom Brady as member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the greatest of all time, returning to New England, first and probably only time playing there as not a member of the New England Patriots. And so he's going up against this old coach, and really pretty intense, interesting, and emotional game, I'm sure, for a lot of people. And in the end, the Patriots really had it. They had the game. And their kicker missed the field goal. Now, they probably should have. They had some time. They probably should have tried to get a little further before kicking the field goal. It was a 4th down and 3. They could have got 3 yards, I think, with how they were moving the ball. But yeah, interesting game. Brady gets the win, going back to his old stomping grounds. A nice little hug between the two on the sideline, but it's good stuff. If you're into that sort of thing, obviously. But in sports, we have rarely seen something like that, the Brady Belichick combo and all the winning they did. So it is kind of a historic occasion for them to get together in a game. And then on the opposite spectrum, we have Urban Meyer, who, yes, has done a lot of winning as a college coach. But he's also one who does seem to run away from bad times when the times get rough. Urban gets it going, if you know what I mean. And things are looking pretty rough right now. His Jaguars still winless, although they have played better recently. But then he was caught on video, married man, at a bar with some chick grinding on him. Not a good look. Not at all. Not a big fan, never really have been. So in part of a way, I'm rooting for him to fail, but I don't really like to do that because I don't like to root for people to fail. I guess I'm not rooting for him to fail. I'm just expecting him to fail, or expecting him to run off like he has before. Like, I don't have hopes that he's at this point in his life going to have an epiphany. Like, it's harder for those people who are, kind of privileged, well off, used to things a certain way. A little harder for them to flip a kind of switch. So a lot of mess he's got going on for him, and we'll see if he sticks it out this time. I commend him if he does a little bit. And then, hey, we've got the baseball playoffs coming, right? Now, it begins tomorrow, and as you know, you all know, I'm not a huge baseball fan. I don't care that much. I enjoy it in October because playoff baseball is still fun, but up until then, I don't care so much. But it begins. It begins Tuesday. You got the Yankees at the Red Sox. In wild card game 1, and then wild card game 1 on Wednesday. Cardinals and Dodgers. So we got the wild card shit coming up, and then it looks like. Let me see 1 second. I got some info right here. You got the number 1 teams. You got the Rays in the AL, the Giants, San Francisco Giants in the AL or NL. I'm sorry, and yeah, you got some interesting stuff. The interesting teams to play. So pay attention. Check that out. I'm going to be watching a little bit. Like I said, I'm not as familiar with what goes on ever because I just don't care about baseball enough through the season. And then, when it starts getting to the end of the baseball season, football's just kicking off. So when the regular season of baseball is getting interesting, I still don't care because it's the beginning of football. Now I'm settled into football. October rolls around, fall. We're getting into fall. And that's actually in my top 5, which is now, I'm going to change the name to that, but we'll get into that in a second. But yes, it's this time of year. You get into October, and playoff baseball is generally pretty good baseball. So I do enjoy tuning in from time to time to check it out. So get on, check out the brackets. Should be a little bit of fun. Sprinkle in some baseball playoffs with your football. And don't forget about the AEW wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, the G1's suffering a little bit without some of the big names. It was started off well, but no Naito. It's kind of hurting the tourney this year, unfortunately. That being said, let's get into story time. So, for story time, I'm going to try and do this every week. And just a story from the youth or a recent story. I probably could have used, the X-ray visit as one, but one of my favorite stories is my candy house story. Growing up, I was kind of a nerdy kid in elementary. Okay, didn't have a lot of friends at school. Actually, I had where I first lived. I did have a friend. His name was Zach, another white kid, and I also had a Korean friend named David Keegan, and actually met him. I think my dad worked with his dad at one point. So I can't remember. No, the grandma lived real close by. Either way, became acquainted with David. We both like basketball and collecting basketball cards, so built a friendship. But that was about it. Like at school, girls didn't really care to talk to me, and it was hard to find friends. I had one friend, his name was Nick Donahue, and another white dude. And he actually was one of the more popular kids, and he would always kind of stick up for me and whatnot. But in middle school, he ended up going away. He moved. And I was kind of, had no real good friends. Nick had been my real only one, except for David, and David didn't live close by David Kim. He did not know. So it was only when he would come to visit his grandma that I would get to see him, right? So that was, unfortunate. And by the way, I apologize. I know there's like a humming sound in the back. My computer the fan's been extra loud all night, and I don't know why. It hasn't done this. The only times it's ever done this is when I've had like a Zoom going with like multiple people, and I've also got something else going on in the background. Then it tends to make this noise. So my computer might just be fucking falling apart, But anyway, I digress. Again, for the fifth time this pod. So yeah, kind of a lack of friends. And then I meet Anu and Adrian. Anu is an Indian kid, just like a Pooh from The Simpsons. Yes, very same name. Instead of a Pooh, it's a new. N instead of a P. And his full name was Anubov, but he just went by Anu. And he had a mole right on his cheek, right, just like a Pooh. And so obviously he got called a Pooh. But then there was Adrian, who's kind of a big dude, and he was half black, half Asian. I do not remember which. I want to say Japanese, but I'm not entirely sure. And he had a birthmark that was just like a big part of his one side of his face was darkened. So he was kind of referred to as Two-Face. And I laugh because I have always had a bit of a long nose, so they called me Pinocchio. And we just developed a friendship, and we became to be known as, at least by ourselves, as Triple Trouble. That's right. And we did some wild shit. I mean, and Anu was kind of a weird dude. Like, it would be mean to say he's not the smartest, because I do think he had some intent. I just don't think he used his brain all the time. I remember we stayed at his house one night and he got in an argument with his dad. He was so pissed off at his dad that he decided it'd be great to TP and egg the house, his house. Like somebody came and did it to us. And we did that. And his dad, maybe he knew it was us. Maybe he did think someone came and did it. Regardless, we were the ones out there cleaning it up. Like it just, this dude was tired of getting made fun of about his mole. So one time he tried to cut it off. I'm like, you fucking idiot, man. Like, they'll make fun of you even worse for that. Even worse. It'll be even worse. So he was a fun guy, always entertaining with him. And Adrian was a little bit more quiet, but he was blessed to be one too. They were fun guys, even though they were dickheads, because they were also my buddies during the period of time when I really got bullied. And they never jumped in with the few times they were around when I was getting beat up. And the excuse was always with anybody that was around that just watched me get beat up was that, well, his older brother is a gang member and I don't want to get shot. Okay, whatever. Thanks for having my back. Anyway, so maybe not the best friends, but at the time, I didn't, we just had a lot of fun together. And one of the things we did was they had found out about this house that some kids went to over by where they lived. And because they lived a little bit of ways from me. And we came to find out about this house. And basically, a vending machine company owner lived in this house. Mary had an Asian wife who kind of broken English, not the greatest English, and kept a lot of product in his garage and always left the fucking back door open. So kids discover this, obviously, and they break in to take cigarettes, candy bars, shit like that. So, full discretion. No, nobody can go to, I mean, I was a kid, so what are you gonna do now? Anyway. But so obviously we had to go do this. And the way you would do it is one of the kids would go to the front door, ring the doorbell, because during the day, dude wasn't home, it was just the wife. So to distract her, someone would go ask if someone was, hey, is Billy here today? No, no Billy here, no Billy here. No Billy here. Are you sure Billy's not here? Do I have the wrong house? Yeah, no Billy live here. No Billy lives here at all. And just distract. Meanwhile, the rest of us would open that back door because they always left it open. I would sneak in. and we'd fill our backpacks with candy bars and cigarettes and all sorts of shit, gum, all sorts of stuff. Until one time we're in there and the garage was connected to the house. One time we're in there and we actually had arrived there and there was another group there of kids waiting to go in and do it. So it kind of sucks because, man, that's a lot of people, make a lot of noise, but we do our same routine. Someone goes, rings the doorbell, talks to the wife. We're in there eating candy. All of a sudden, the door from the garage to the house swings open and dude's right there like, hey, motherfuckers. Everybody drops their shit. Everybody runs. Get the fuck out of there. We all get away. All of us. I was the only one who got away with my backpack. And I had a shit ton of baby Ruths. And everybody's like, give me a candy bar, Ryan. And I'm like, you go fuck yourself. You motherfuckers, you bitches, dropped y'all's bags. Yeah, that's what happened. So y'all don't get candy. Y'all left your candy. I held on to my candy. So no, you can't have none of my candy because I held on to my shit like a bad motherfucker. Y'all drop your shit like some bitches. One of the very few times in my youth I could flex a little, you know what I'm saying? The candy house. That's the candy house, and that's it for story time. Yeah, yeah. And now to end the show, we get into what I would now call the Mad Six. Because first of all, I want to do the top 5 thing, like to just be generic, but I also got to make it my style. And number 1, my style would be not to go 5, but to go 6, because that's a little more sinister number. Number 1, and I like that around here. And number 2, to not be 5, but to be a different. I thought about the Mad 4, but then I was like, no, we got to go 6 because we got to go again. Scary number. So the Mad 6 it is, because we can't go top either. The Mad, because in my Dynasty Wonderland, we have a Mad 5 that we do. And I do like that there because it's like Fab 5, which is, a sports thing. It's a basketball thing, football thing, but it's a sports thing regardless. And so I like that there. But here, the Mad 6. And this week, our list will be top things about going into the fall season. And, this is really for those of us who live in areas where there actually are seasons because we can handle any kind of fucking weather. Because, yes, while I can understand the sentiment of wanting to always be in somewhere where there's warm weather, I also don't get it. I understand you want a vacation somewhere like that, maybe take a break from the winter to go visit somewhere that's nice and warm. I get that. But to just live in somewhere that's nice all the time, like, get the fuck out of here. When shit really hits the fan with climate and all of that, you fuckers are in trouble because you will know nothing but nice and sunny and yeah, everybody thinks, oh, climate change. Well, it's just going to get hotter, right? They can handle hot. I don't think you understand. It's not just that, but the weather changes, the climate and the weather. It like shit's gonna get crazy. Yeah. I'm good. Being able to, live well in any season. So yeah. No, we'll quit bragging. Those of us who really enjoy this, we'll quit bragging about how much better off we'd be in like a crazy situation because we could handle the cold, basically. So, top 6 things about going into the fall season. Number 6, bye-bye summer. Now, I put this at the back of the list because, yeah, there's a lot of people who say, no, we like summer. Summer's good. Why do we want to say bye-bye? Again, this is about the change. And summer means there's a lot of days that are like, too fucking hot and bright out because I swear I'm part vampire. But it's my eye. I got sensitive eyes and just like, I don't like being out when the sun's like, here I am. I don't like that. I mean, it's much better here in Colorado than where I used to live in Iowa, where you had the added pain in the ass of the fucking crazy humidity. Yes, so don't got to worry about that here. But the heat. So goodbye, super hot days, and goodbye, summer. Number five of the Mad Six this week. A bit more decency amongst people. It feels like as we get into fall, into the holiday season, people get a little more generous, a little bit less asshole-ish towards each other. People are a little more decent to one another, and I appreciate that. Number 4, the weather. I like me some sweatshirt weather. That's right. It chills out of the particular October, November. Good days. Good days. To just sweatshirting it up. Yeah, I like it. Like it. Going outside, it's like, oh, it's a little chilly out here. You get in your car and you're like, oh, yeah, it's a little, yeah. I like that. Getting into sweatshirt weather. Number 3 on the Mad Six this week of top things going into the fall season. The color changes. Big fan of this. You start seeing it on the leaves everywhere. It just, people start decorating because we get, Halloween and then Thanksgiving and then Christmas. And it's just scenery in general. The scenery change. I fucking love it. Number 2, speaking of, the holidays and Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's right. Because in the fall, there's really two big holidays. And I love me some Thanksgiving. Mainly because it's a good day to do nothing except watch football and eat a fuck ton of turkey because I love turkey. So a fuck ton of turkey, mashed potatoes, some gravy, some rolls, give me some. I love it. And then I just get to sit around and watch football. Yeah. Can't top it. Can't top it. It's my kind of shit. That's right. That is right. So, number 1, of course, Thanksgiving is number 2. Then number 1 is obviously Halloween, my favorite holiday of the year. And don't get me wrong, I love Christmas too. It's probably 1B. And not so much for me, just with the kids. It's so much fun, doing the Santa thing with them. Just their whole seeing their joy throughout the Christmas is really a lot of fun. So, yes. But Halloween for me. Trick-or-treating, dressing up, costumes, the decorating. Oh, the movies. Horror movies, kids movies, Nightmare Before Christmas. Such a great classic film. I still love it. The kids love it. Halloween. Halloween is my number 1, and we'll talk a lot more Halloween as we go, and we're going to have Halloween-themed Mad Six topics all along through the month. So, all right. Well, that's what I got for you. That's kind of how the new show will be set up, and that's what we got going on. So thank you, everyone, for joining my Mad Caps. We're going to get the hell out of here. You know what it is. It's that time. It's time for me to, go off